Good morning, my friends. How are you today? Well, it's not as sunny in Southern California, although you can still see the sun coming out. But it's very cloudy today and a little cold, and I'm rushing to work. Wanted to pull over, wanted to say hello and talk to you a little bit about the live this week. Thursday, I'll be going live, and I'll actually be in New York. I am visiting a dear friend, and we call her our adopted daughter. And I'll be hanging out and trying to take a little break, a little breather in my busy life. I am very grateful for all you all who've been out here and talking and listening and sharing and commenting. And I'm so very grateful for the opportunity to visit with you. And those of you who are not into it, don't want to listen, get annoyed, get irritated, don't like my face, whatever it is, just move along. Just find your way and find your path. So you're not the voice that I'm listening to. I'm trying to listen to my own voice, my own instrument, and also take love and support and guidance from the people that this is helping and serving. So this is a public service. I am Gina Tabrizy. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist of 32 years and doing the deal, doing the work, sharing my experience, strength, and hope with you. The talk this week on my Thursday Night Live, which is going to be in New York. So it's 6 p.m. our California time, Pacific time, and it's going to be 9 p.m. So I got to stay awake at East Coast time. So in Central Mountain, take off an hour, so it's 8 p.m. So y'all are used to it that have been watching me from back east. The talk this week is on don't stay where you're not valued. Now, I can imagine, hey, Marla, how are you? Hi, Wesley. We are all perfectly imperfect. That is a great quote. I'll put it on my page. I talked about that all the time. I say real is better than perfect, and we are all imperfect. I am an absolute imperfect human being who's doing the very best that I can with what I have. And I was inspired to do these lives by my own clients who often motivate me to continue to grow and be a better human by watching them grow and becoming better humans, healthier and more spiritually fit, as we say. Don't stay where you're not valued. So this Thursday night, I'll go into detail about it, but right now for a couple of minutes for this short live, this is about knowing your worth. If we come from places where we were not valued as children, in our marriages, in our homes, in our work, where we're always getting negative messages that we are not enough, not good enough, and are not valued, we're being put down, we're being criticized. Other people are trying to measure us to their measuring stick. And your value comes internally from you. You get to decide who you are, what you're about, what you want to be, what you're becoming, and no one gets to tell you that but you. So you're being, hi, Aftab, and hi, Diane. You get to say, I am not trying to meet your expectations. I'm trying to meet the expectations of myself, my spirit, my higher power. And when we choose to allow other people to tell us who we are, those people are always going to get it wrong. And we're always going to feel undervalued. So I want to say to you, your value starts with you. You decide what you're worth. You decide what you deserve. You decide what kind of relationships you're going to be in or not be in. You decide how people will talk to you or not talk to you. So if you're in relationships with friends, loved ones, including family members, bosses, colleagues, and peers that are undervaluing you, you have to start to set a boundary. You have to communicate, and you have to take inventory of your life and say, why am I allowing myself to be surrounded by people that don't see my worth? Why am I allowing myself to be guided by people who don't have my best interest at heart? Hi, Michelle Tideria. This is a bunch of BS that we never get to. And Mary, oh my God, it's winning. It's a twofer. We never get to see each other. These are two of my closest friends, and we can't even see each other except on these lives now. So thank you all for being part of our bonding and adding to our relationship. So where you're not valued, you have to speak up and communicate. What we don't understand is that our silence gives other people permission to not treat us right or treat us well. When you are silent, when people are being verbally abusive or overly way, sorry, my doctor was calling. My doctor's office was calling. So when people are diminishing you in any way and you tolerate that and you internalize the hurt and the shame of that, but you don't communicate it to them, you're at fault. People will never read your mind. Even your mama can't read your mind. I can't read my baby's minds. You know, I might be better at reading other people's mind than my own children or my husband or my loved ones because I'm too close to the situation. So I have got to express, and you have got to express to people, I do not appreciate how you're talking to me. I don't agree with what you're saying. I don't agree with how you're viewing me, and you're getting it all wrong. If you don't tell people who you are, and Michelle has heard me say this 5 million times, then they're going to invent you. So communicate. I'm glad you needed this, Carrie Ann. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. And this is my short life. Sorry, I don't have my stand, so I'm holding it with my hand and I'm watching all kinds of trucks are going by and people and dogs. And look outside my window. I'm just parked on the side of the road. So I want you to understand that you should not stay where you're not valued. You shouldn't keep yourself limited to being disrespected in any way or being belittled. If you've been at a job for 1,000,000 years, 20 years, and you realize that you've given it everything you have and you get rave reviews, but you never get compensated or you never get told you were an amazing asset to this company and we couldn't do it without you, then you got to reevaluate that relationship too, because we spend a majority of our time working. And if we don't feel valued at our workplace, that means we're feeling less than and sometimes even being abused for the majority of our life. Does that make sense? And yeah, Richard, words can lie, behavior never lies. I love that, my friend. That's a good one. And I'm saying hello again, Aftab. And Irene, hi Irene. I like the happy smiley face. They gonna invent you. Ain't that the truth, Adriette? So even at your work, we forget that because we need to earn a living and pay our bills and feed ourselves and our children, we forget to take risks in that area and to say, that paycheck ain't worth you belittling me, ma'am or mister or whoever your boss is. I remember having a boss who used to hold a paycheck over my head like this, like I was a dog that I had to beg for it, and would say, what did you do this week? How many clients did you bring in? How much money did you generate? Blah, blah, blah. And I was an intern. I was brand new into this field going, this is nuts. I thought we were in this to help people and to be of service and to create a livelihood that was respectable and honorable. And I'm sitting here begging for my paycheck. I want to tell you, ultimately, I walked out, and I had to walk out of that, even though I was getting tons of experience and I valued the clients and I valued what was happening. It wasn't okay with me that someone was belittling me like that. And at some point I had to take that risk to walk. So I hope you're hearing me. Some of you, I'm kind of helping you to kind of charge your emotional muscles and work those out and decide not, I'm just using work as an example, but in any relationship, hello, Richard, where you don't feel valued, and thank you, Donna, amen to you too. Where you don't feel valued, you need to start communicating and you need to change that for yourself, because that can become toxic. That can last permanently if it's a marriage. If it's siblings, that could be a permanent condition for the rest of your life, being in relationship with someone who is devaluing you. And do you really deserve that? Have you really earned in your life to not be treated with kindness, with love and respect? Now, you got to take personal inventory and find out, am I a person that's not being kind, compassionate, and loving towards others? Maybe I've earned a little bit of that back. And And however, there's a threshold. It doesn't need to be a permanent condition of, yeah, I was a bad person formerly, and so now I'm going to be punished the rest of my life. That doesn't fly either. Once we know our behavior, we own it. We correct it, we make amends for it. We have to give our spirit permission to grow and move forward and not take any kind of abuse, belittling, or criticism. I'm going to look at some of the comments here and catch up with you guys since this is a short little live today, 15 minutes. Thank you for this. I need to hear this. It made me realize I'm being mean to my husband through his relapse. Oh gosh, Meg, that's a hard one. And I always say, bless your heart, you have the right to feel angry, but not to take it out on him. He's battling a disease that is a monster that he has to surrender to on a daily basis and pray for guidance and divine intervention and a power greater. And absolutely, of course, my husband Fareed called again. Because seriously, you guys who are regularly watching me, is there a time where Fareed doesn't call me when I'm on a live? Seriously? Every time. So, Meg, I'm with you now. So I need to not be angry with my husband and have compassion and kindness towards him because he does this every time. Gina, hey Gina, so many need to hear this, so don't try to ruin someone's life because they don't take advice you give because you really don't know the value of the person or what they're really going through. Yay! That's beautifully said. You are of value. Haley, you have helped me a lot. Thank you, Haley. Terry, I walked out after 24 years now. So happy. You go, girl. Wayne, very true. Happy face. Indra, at my last job, I told my boss I would never go into the conference room with her again because she brought me in there and yelled at me. Oh, no, girlfriend. She's not your mama. Hey, Pej, she is not your mama. So your boss is not your parent, and your boss doesn't get to smack you over the head, belittle you, embarrass you, or shame you in front of other people. If you have done wrong, that is all right, but you are a person of merit and worth, and you deserve to be spoken to like that. And the job of a leader is to lead by example. And the job of a leader is to give guidance, love, and compassion in all things. So it is the job of a boss to bring you in and take corrective action, not to humiliate you. You go, girl, for walking on that. It's so good to see you, Pej. Meg, he starts treatment today. I am so glad, and I'm so proud of him that he's picking himself up from a relapse and walking into the path again, because it is always possible. Recovery is always possible. Don't ever forget that. Don't give up. Don't give up hope, right? And don't shame him because he ain't getting it right yet. He'll get there when he gets there. Irene, thank you. Wesley, I'm alone for the first time since 1996, and I'm actually starting to be happy and safe. Hey, Wesley, that is awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. And Tim, when is a good time to start dating again after death of a spouse? Wow, that's a great subject. I'll get back to you, Tim. Hazelyn, thanks. You being down lately. Hope to see more of you. Oh, I don't know why I was down, but internet. Thank you, Hazelyn. And my cousin Suying is watching from Spain. Hola, prima. And Meg, yes, he will. Okay, so check it out. The topic, Tim, that you're talking about, I think I will tackle that on another live. This live was about not being valued. Don't stay where you're not valued. Don't stay where people don't appreciate you, where you're creating within yourself a belief that you deserve to be treated less than respect, less than guidance, less than honorable. No. And so start to take inventory today, and I will tackle this subject again on Thursday and go into more depth about it. But start to take inventory. Where in my life am I still allowing people to treat me unkindly, unfairly, with disrespect? It could be your family, y'all. We forget that because people are in our family, we allow our family to treat us way worse than anyone that we ever would. And it's because they're family. We give that title and then we say, well, as long as it's family, I just got to get over it. I got to turn the other cheek. I have to understand. And that's a beautiful thing, to always try to reinvent your relationship with your family. But that doesn't mean you should tolerate abuse, disregard, or disrespect, even from them. It sets you up to feel badly about yourself. It sets you up to question your own value, your own worth, and your own merits in life. Sometimes, you guys know I tackle this all the time, and thank you for your comment, Pej. Fareed values you so much, he calls in during the show to let you know. I know, every time. He's totally like, oh, he's my little cheerleader all the time. Like, he just wants to make sure I'm okay and I'm doing it. Because it freaks him out, because I tell him, I'll just pull over, which I have done the last 2 lives, pulled over. Hazel, and yes, about the family and fighting a battle, and thank you for coming in there and jumping in there. Preach it, sister. Your family should have more respect than anyone else. That is so true. So what I'm saying to you is, when that happens in your family, you start to devalue yourself. You start to believe it even more because it's family. So you need to put family in its proper perspective. You are also flawed human beings that I happen to be related to. And maybe you haven't done the work, the emotional and spiritual work, to let go of whatever resentment, anger, envy, or jealousy you're carrying about me and our relationship, and therefore you are treating me with this disrespect. I hope you'll listen to that again, because that was a lot in one sentence. But truth be told, is your family may have issues with you that are their issues that have nothing to do with you. And they are still carrying that between you. And they are devaluing you because they're angry because you were the favorite kid. They're angry because you're more successful. They're angry because you left them and left the alcoholic home and they stayed longer and couldn't get out. These are just 3 little small examples of what possibly could create that kind of envy and jealousy and disregard between family members. The whole topic is don't stay where you're not valued, and I'm tackling it from the angle of family because we feel like that's a place where we can never leave. And to be honest, hi Jessica from the Bahamas. Or is it sunny over there? I'm actually cloudy in California, which is, unusual but necessary. Hi Haley. In your family, really, I want you to take an inventory. Are you being disregarded in some way? And have you been tolerating for way too long being treated poorly by any members of your family? And I think it's awesome for you to move on from that. And Judy's commenting, Tim, only you can answer that question. I love that, and thank you for acknowledging that. And because it's such a different subject, I just didn't want to tackle Tim, but Tim was asking, when is a good time to start dating again after the death of a spouse? And I 100% agree with Judy that only you can answer that. But the way that you know is when your heart feels that you're not betraying your partner. Because the hardest thing that happens with losing a spouse when you start to live your life again and date again is you start to feel like you're betraying them. And truth be told, any partner, any loved one that loves you in this lifetime, loves you for all eternity, wants the very best for you, wants to see you with joy and with love in your heart again. They don't want to see you lost in grief. They don't want to see you holding back and not living the life that you desire and that you deserve because they're no longer there with you. So there was a different plan. God and the universe had a different plan for that person, and the time that you had together was the time that you had together. And now your time is still here for you to move forward. And anyone that truly loves you doesn't want to see you sad and lost and alone. So, I've had these conversations with my husband, Fareed, about who's going to go first and what happens. And we both say the same thing, like depending on how, because we're getting old. So depending how old we are, we probably never want to marry again, but we can't say to each other that we'll never have another partner in life if that's what's intended in the universe, because as humans, that's part of our makeup. So I did wind up answering Tim. So anyways, I want to say to you all, I gotta go. Thank you, Margie. I got off the phone upset. I've been sober 15 days today. My ex and his sister, drank and caused problems. He never stuck up for me. All of it was going on. Girl, you're welcome, Tim. Girl, Margie, you focus on you. I talk a lot about dealing with family and dealing with addiction. Your sobriety trumps all of that. Right now, you focus on you. Your sanity and your sobriety come first above all things. Don't be around people who don't value you, who are negative, who are putting you down, who are drama, who are gossipy, who are envious, who are jealous, and pushing you in a negative direction, hurting you so that you then hurt yourself. Don't do it. Focus on you. If you have to, get on your knees, pray. Seek a higher power. I don't care if it's in yoga, in a Buddhist temple, out here with the trees and the forest and the lawn, whatever creates peace and kindness and compassion in your spirit. I am so grateful to be here with you all. I'm sorry if I missed the last few comments. I got to go into my office now to see a client. Thank you, Margie and Hazelin and Irene and Wesley. Y'all are amazing. Mary, I love you. And God bless you all. If you want to tune in again, Thursday night, I'll be live from New York. Don't know where. I'll probably have to pull over on the side of the road there too. But I will be with you all 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Lots of love to you all. Thank you.